Close your eyes and picture this. You build a company from scratch. You design rockets. You launch them into space. Not with government help, not with billions in funding from NASA, but with your own startup, built from the ground up. And then, just when people think that's impressive enough, you do something no one has ever done before. You bring that rocket back to Earth. You land it upright, gently, like an elevator from space. And then you use it again, like it's just another delivery truck. Now ask yourself, who does that? Not a space agency, not a country. A man named Elon Musk. At one point, he was just a quiet, bookish kid in South Africa, bullied in school, socially awkward, obsessed with science fiction and computers. Today, he's reshaping almost every major industry. He changed how we pay online with PayPal. He challenged the oil industry with Tesla. He disrupted global aerospace with SpaceX. He's tackling climate change with SolarCity. And he's even preparing a plan for humans to live on Mars. This isn't just a story of success. It's a story of audacity, obsession, failure, and resilience. And that's exactly what Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the quest for a fantastic future by Ashley Vance is all about. It's not just a biography, it's a window into the mind of one of the most ambitious visionaries of our time. So buckle up, because in this video, we're diving deep into Musk's life, mindset, companies, biography filled with dates and achievements. It's a roller coaster journey into the life of a man who's not only building companies, he's trying to build the future itself. Ashley Vance, the author, doesn't just list what Elon Musk did. He takes us inside Elon's world, offering an exclusive behind-the-scenes pass into his life, his struggles, his way of thinking, and the fire that drives him. You'll see Musk as a young boy in South Africa, feeling out of place, bullied, and lost in science fiction novels, already dreaming of space and electric machines. You'll then follow him as he takes one bold step after another, from leaving his home country at 17 to becoming a multimillionaire with PayPal, and then risking it all to chase two impossible dreams: electric cars and reusable rockets. But what makes this book truly special is how it shows you Elon's mindset, a mind that works differently from most. Vance describes how Musk thinks in first principles, ignores conventional wisdom, and obsesses over the tiniest details. He doesn't just want to build companies, he wants to solve humanity's biggest problems. And he's willing to sacrifice sleep, money, relationships, and even his health to do it. Ashley Vance doesn't paint Elon as a perfect hero either. You get the full picture. The genius, the arrogance, the ambition, the sacrifices, and the intense work ethic that leaves people in awe or exhausted. Reading this book feels like watching a real-life superhero origin story, where the powers are intelligence, grit, and boldness, and the stakes are nothing less than the future of Earth and space. That's why this summary is more than just about Elon's life. It's about the principles and lessons we can learn from him. So let's break it down into simple parts, with real stories, real examples, and real takeaways that you can apply in your own. 1. The origin story. From South Africa to Silicon Valley. Let's rewind the clock. Elon Musk was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, a place far away from Silicon Valley, rockets, or electric cars. As a child, Elon was different. Not the outgoing, sporty kid you'd imagine. Instead, he was the quiet, nerdy boy, someone who'd rather dive into books than hang out with other kids. He wasn't just a bookworm, he was on another level. Fun fact, Elon once read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica, yes, all of it, before he was even 10 years old. While most kids were memorizing Pokemon names, Elon was absorbing knowledge like a sponge. His love for technology kicked in early too. At just 12 years old, Elon coded his own space-themed video game called Blastar and sold it for $500. That's not pocket money. That's startup energy. But don't think it was all smooth sailing. Elon was badly bullied in school, even beaten up so badly once that he had to be hospitalized. At home, things weren't easy either. He had a strained relationship with his father, which added emotional weight to his already isolated life. But maybe all that hardship did something important. It made Elon tough. It made him independent. And it gave him the mindset of, if no one's going to save me, I'll do it myself. By the time he turned 17, he knew he had to leave. South Africa wasn't the place where he could follow his dreams. So he packed his bags and moved to Canada, using his mother's citizenship as a way out. And from there, the real adventure began. He worked odd jobs, cleaning boilers, cutting wood, even shoveling dirt for $18 an hour. But he wasn't just working for money. Elon was building his way toward a vision. Later, he moved to the United States, the land of innovation, and finally found himself in Silicon Valley, the tech capital of the world. And unlike most immigrants who dream of just getting a job, Elon had bigger plans. He wanted to save the world. Yes, literally. 2. The first big win, PayPal. After landing in Silicon Valley, Elon Musk didn't waste time chasing small dreams. He was laser-focused, ambitious, and obsessed with using technology to solve big problems. One of his first big ideas? A company called X.com in 1999. Now that might sound mysterious, almost like a secret villain group from a sci-fi movie. But Elon's idea was actually crazy for the time. He wanted to build a way to send money through email when the world was still writing paper checks and visiting banks for every transaction. Back then, people didn't trust the internet with money. Online shopping was still new. Most people thought sending money online was risky and unsafe. But Elon believed the future of banking was digital, and he was willing to bet everything on it. Plot twist. X.com wasn't the only company trying this. Another startup called Confinity, run by a guy named Peter Thiel, was working on something similar. So instead of competing, they decided to merge. And that's how PayPal was born. Elon didn't just want to build a better bank, he wanted to blow up the entire banking system and rebuild it from scratch. There were huge internal battles during this time. Elon wanted to keep the name X.com. Others hated it. He was eventually pushed out as CEO while he was on vacation. But he still remained the biggest shareholder. Even with the drama, PayPal exploded in popularity. It became the default payment method on eBay, the leading online marketplace at the time. Suddenly, millions of people were using PayPal to buy and sell goods safely. It changed how the world did business online. Then, in 2002, the big moment came. eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. And Elon? He walked away with a mind-blowing $180 million in his pocket. Now let's pause for a second. Most people at that point would have celebrated, retired, maybe bought a private island, or lived a luxury life, but not Elon. He didn't even slow down. He looked at his bank account and thought, now I can finally build the crazy things I actually care about, like sending people to space. Elon didn't see that $180 million as an exit. He saw it as fuel for his next mission. And what did he do with it? He poured almost all of it into his next 3 big bets: Tesla, SpaceX, and SolarCity. Yes, he risked everything again. This was the moment where Elon Musk officially stopped being just a rich tech guy and started becoming a revolutionary force in multiple industries. Want me to dive telling? 3. Betting it all, Tesla and SpaceX. Imagine you just made $180 million from your first big win. Most people would relax, invest a little, maybe buy a yacht and chill for life. But Elon Musk, he looked at that money and said, let's double down on the craziest dreams I've ever had. So what did he do? He bet it all. Literally almost every dollar on 2 wild world-changing ideas. First, Tesla. At the time, electric cars were a joke. They were slow, they looked ugly, and worst of all, they couldn't even go far without dying on the road. No big car company wanted to touch electric vehicles seriously. But Elon saw an opportunity. He didn't want to build boring cars for eco-nerds. He wanted electric cars to be cool, fast, and sexy. So good that people would want them, even if they didn't care about the environment. He joined a small startup called Tesla Motors, and eventually took the lead. The vision? Build an electric sports car that could outrun a Ferrari and still be good for the planet. People laughed. Car experts said it was impossible. Investors backed out. Competitors mocked him. Second, SpaceX. As if Tesla wasn't risky enough, Elon also wanted to start a rocket company. His goal? Not just launching satellites or space tourism. He wanted to make space travel cheap, reusable, and one day, colonize Mars. Yeah, colonize Mars. While most CEOs were trying to get rich selling apps, Elon was planning interplanetary civilization. He called his company SpaceX, and he wanted to do something no private company in history had done. Build rockets from scratch, launch them into orbit, and bring them back down in one piece. Engineers said he was nuts. Aerospace experts laughed. Even friends thought he was burning cash for nothing. Then came 2008, the year everything almost fell apart. Tesla was bleeding money. The first Roadster had production nightmares. Customers were waiting, and the company couldn't pay its bills. Meanwhile, SpaceX had launched 3 rockets, and all 3 had failed. One exploded midair, one spun out of control, one missed its orbit completely. Elon had burned through almost all of his PayPal money. He was so broke he had to borrow rent money from his friends just to survive. He was running 2 companies that everyone said would fail. The media was trashing him. People were calling him a fraud. He was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Then everything changed. 4th time's the charm. In September 2008, SpaceX finally launched Falcon 1 into orbit, the first privately built rocket to do so successfully. And just weeks later, NASA called. They offered SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. This deal saved SpaceX. And around the same time, Tesla delivered the Model S, a beautiful, powerful, fully electric sedan that shocked the auto industry. Critics called it the iPhone of cars. Suddenly, everyone who laughed at Elon went silent. This was the turning point. Elon had taken two of the riskiest bets in modern business history, and somehow pulled both off at the same time, in the worst economy, while almost going broke. This chapter in his life is more than just about companies. It's about unshakable belief, insane persistence, and the willingness to lose everything for what you believe in. Want me to go ahead with book summary format? 4. The obsession with the future. If there's one word that defines Elon Musk, it's obsession. Not just passion, not just interest. We're talking about a man who eats, sleeps, and breathes the future. While most CEOs are planning for next quarter's profits, Elon is thinking about the next 50 years, and even beyond Earth. He's not just a businessman. He's a visionary engineer on a mission. Let's look at some of his futuristic goals. Self-driving cars. Tesla. Most car companies treat electric vehicles like a product. Elon treats Tesla like a mission. Not only does he want to replace gas-powered cars, he wants to make cars that can drive themselves better than humans. He says self-driving will reduce accidents, save lives, and give people more free time. And here's the crazy part. Tesla is doing it using only cameras and AI. No fancy sensors like other companies. It's an insane technical challenge, but Elon believes it's possible. Human survival on other planets. SpaceX. This is Elon's biggest obsession. He truly believes that Earth is not safe forever. War, climate change, asteroids, pandemics, anything could wipe us out. So, his solution? We must become a multi-planetary species. SpaceX isn't just about satellites or science. It's about building a backup plan for humanity. His dream is to build a colony on Mars. Yes, a real self-sustaining city on another planet. That's why he's developing Starship, the most powerful rocket ever built. Green energy for homes, Solar City, and Tesla Energy. Electric cars are great, but what if your house could also run on clean energy? That's why Elon started Solar City, and later merged it into Tesla Energy. His vision: solar panels on every roof, batteries in every garage, and homes that can generate and store their own power. A future without oil, pollution, or power outages. Brain-computer interface. Here's where it gets sci-fi real fast. Neuralink is one of Elon's wildest projects. The idea? Put a tiny chip in your brain that lets you control devices with your mind, treat neurological problems like paralysis or blindness, one day, maybe even merge with AI. He's worried that artificial intelligence might become smarter than humans. So his solution? Upgrade the human brain. Underground hyperloop and tunnels. The Boring Company. Traffic sucks. Elon hates wasting time, so he started digging tunnels. The Boring Company, funny name, serious goal, wants to build underground transportation systems that move cars and pods at super high speeds. Think of it as a highway, under the ground. Quiet, fast, and efficient. And then there's Hyperloop, a vacuum train that could go from one city to another in minutes, like LA to San Francisco in 30 minutes. Real-world example, sleeping on the factory floor. Elon doesn't just dream big. He lives it. In 2018, when Tesla was struggling to produce the Model 3, most executives would have blamed their teams or taken a vacation. Elon? He slept on the factory floor. No hotel, no mansion. He worked 100+ hours a week, troubleshooting robots, fixing issues, even sleeping under his desk. He said, "I wanted my team to see that I'm not hiding in an ivory tower. I'm right here, suffering with you, pushing through." That level of commitment is rare, even legendary. So what drives him? It's not money. It's not fame. Elon Musk is driven by a belief that humanity can do more, that we can survive, thrive, and explore the universe if we dare to build it. This chapter shows us that Elon Musk isn't just obsessed with the future, he's racing toward it, with every breath, every dollar, and every ounce of energy. Mind of Elon Musk. What makes him different? Ashley Vance, the author of Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the Quest for a Fantastic Future, didn't just write a biography. He studied Elon. He followed him, interviewed his friends, family, co-workers, and even Elon himself, who's not easy to reach. What Vance discovered is this: Elon Musk isn't just smart. He's not just hardworking. He's built different. Some people call him a visionary genius. Others call him impossible to work with. But one thing is clear: he's not like the rest of us. Let's dive into the psychology and habits that make Elon, Elon. 1. First principles thinking. Start from zero. Most people solve problems by comparing what's already been done. Elon, he strips problems down to first principles. like a scientist. First principles thinking means breaking things down to basic truths and reasoning up from there, no assumptions. Example: when Elon wanted to build rockets, he found out how expensive they were. Instead of accepting it, he asked, what are rockets made of? How much do those materials cost? Could we build them cheaper ourselves? Turns out, they could. That's how SpaceX was born. Not by copying NASA, but by rethinking everything from scratch. 2. Insane risk tolerance. Betting everything. Twice. Most millionaires diversify their money. Elon? He took the $180 million he made from PayPal, and instead of playing it safe, he bet it all on Tesla, SpaceX, and Solar City. Every last dollar. He literally borrowed money to pay rent. And when both Tesla and SpaceX were on the verge of bankruptcy, instead of backing off, he doubled down. That level of risk, most people couldn't sleep at night. But for Elon, if it meant moving the world forward, it was worth it. 3. Brutal work ethic. No weekends, no excuses. Elon Musk doesn't just work hard, he works like a machine. For years, he did 80 100-hour work weeks every week. That's 2 full-time jobs. He once said, nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week. His schedule was so tight, he divided his days into 5-minute slots. He worked from factory floors, skipped vacations, and often slept at the office, not because he had to, but because he believed in what he was building that much. 4. Brutal honesty. Zero sugarcoating. Working with Elon isn't easy. He's intense, demanding, impatient. He expects perfection and speed, and he's not afraid to call out incompetence loudly. Some people couldn't handle it. They quit. Burned out. But those who stayed? They say they learned more in 6 months with Elon than in 6 years anywhere else. Elon forces people to level up. 5. Vision beyond the norm. Most CEOs chase profits. Elon chases possibilities. Electric cars when the world laughed at them. Reusable rockets when NASA said it couldn't be done. Brain-computer interfaces, Mars colonies, solar-powered homes. He doesn't think what's practical. He thinks what's necessary for the future of humanity. That mindset, dreaming 10x bigger, is rare. So what's the lesson? Elon Musk isn't a superhero. He's a human. But what makes him different are the choices he made and the standards he holds. He thinks differently, he acts relentlessly, and he fails loudly, but always keeps moving. Here's the truth. If you want to change the world, you can't be average. You have to question everything. Be bold, be fast, be willing to look crazy. And above all, never stop learning. That's the real mindset of Elon Musk's. Elon's dark side, not all sunshine and rainbows. So far, we've talked about Elon Musk like he's some kind of futuristic superhero. And in many ways, he is. But here's the truth. Even superheroes have flaws. Ashley Vance doesn't sugarcoat Elon's story. This book gives us a full picture. Not just the glory, but the grit, the conflict, and the cost of building a fantastic future. Let's talk about the side of Elon Musk that isn't always praised. 1. Extremely demanding. A CEO like no other. Elon is not your nice guy boss. He's the kind of leader who expects perfection, speed, and no excuses. If you're too slow, or if you say something can't be done, he might fire you instantly. Example: there have been multiple cases where Musk fired employees on the spot during meetings, especially if they didn't meet his standards or couldn't match his intensity. For him, there's no time to sugarcoat things. He's trying to put people on Mars, after all. 2. No work-life balance, and it shows. Elon once said, "I wouldn't recommend anyone work as hard as I do." That's not humble bragging, it's a warning. He works 80 to 100 hours a week. He's been known to send emails at 2 a.m., call engineers on weekends, and cancel family events for deadlines. That kind of obsession takes a toll, especially on personal relationships. 3. Troubled personal life. Behind all the success, Musk has faced emotional struggles. He's been through multiple divorces. Friends and ex-wives describe him as emotionally distant and impossibly focused. His relationships often suffer because his priority is always the mission. It's not that he doesn't feel, it's just that he's so locked in on the future that he sometimes forgets the present. 4. Intensity that feels like arrogance. Some people who've worked with him describe him as brilliant, but also brutal. He can be dismissive, impatient, harsh. He'll call out people in public meetings. He once said, "I don't believe in process. In fact, when I see process, that's a red flag." He doesn't care for hierarchy or feelings, only for results. So, is that a bad thing? That's the tough question. Is he a jerk, or just misunderstood? Well, maybe he's both. Maybe to change the world at the scale he's attempting, you need to be more than just nice. You need to be obsessed. You need to be ruthless with mediocrity. You need to hold yourself and everyone around you to insane standards. Final thought on his dark side. Elon Musk is a flawed genius. He's not a role model in every way, But he's a rare kind of visionary who dares to dream where others doubt. Ashley Vance doesn't paint him as a perfect man. He paints him as a complex one who is trying to drag the future into the present, whether the world is ready or not. And sometimes that future costs more than just money. It costs sleep, relationships, admiring and relatable breakdown of. 7. Final thoughts. What can we learn from Elon? You might be thinking, okay, cool story, but I'm not trying to build rockets or electric cars. What does this have to do with me? Fair question. But here's the truth. You don't have to be Elon Musk to learn like Elon Musk. You don't have to start a tech company, colonize Mars, or invent the future. What you can do is absorb the mindset, the courage, the obsession with solving hard problems. Let's break it down. 1. Believe in impossible ideas. Most people dream realistically. Elon doesn't. He dreams of sending humans to Mars, building self-driving cars, and merging AI with the human brain. People laughed. They said this isn't possible. But Elon didn't listen. Lesson? Don't limit your dreams to what's safe or normal. If your ideas don't scare you a little or make people raise eyebrows, they're probably too small. 2. Take risks. Calculated ones. Elon didn't gamble blindly. He researched deeply. He bet big, but with a plan. He risked everything, his time, his money, his reputation. But here's the key. He didn't do it recklessly. He did it with strategy, intensity, and deep belief in the mission. Lesson? Don't be afraid to take bold steps. Just make sure your boldness is backed by logic and effort. 3. Work like crazy. If the mission matters, Elon has said, nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week. He slept on the floor of Tesla's factory. He pulled all-nighters. He micromanaged every detail when things got hard. Not because he had to, but because he believed in what he was building. Lesson? If something really matters to you, give it everything. Not for applause. Not for likes. But because your mission deserves your full energy. 4. Be okay with being misunderstood. Let's be real, Elon Musk is weird. He's awkward in interviews. He tweets strange things. He gets criticized, mocked, doubted, even hated. But he keeps moving. He keeps building. Lesson? You don't have to fit in. You don't need validation to do great things. Sometimes the best ideas are the ones people don't understand, yet. The big picture. This book isn't just about Elon Musk. It's about a mindset, a challenge, a call to action. Ashley Vance doesn't just give us a front row seat to Musk's wild journey. He gives us a mirror. He asks us, what kind of future are you building? Are you dreaming big enough? Are you scared of failing? Or more scared of playing it safe? Final takeaway. You don't need to be a billionaire. You don't need to be a genius. But if you can think bigger, work harder, and dare to be different, you might just change your little corner of the universe. And maybe that's how every fantastic future begins.